What up, people? Man, sorry I'm late. This weekend was rough. Man, I gotta say, the last time I compared this card a little bit like UFC 87, I think. Yeah, Seek and Destroy. That's when GSP took on Fitch, and I think the main fights on that was Brock Lesnar versus Heath Herring, and of course Roger Huerta versus Kenny Florian. What really impressed me about that night was just the spirit, technique, and just the great performances put on in all three of those big fights, including like I think there was also the Maya and Jason McDonald fight. That was just a night where I was just really treated to just an excellent show of MMA and just great fighting spirit from everyone involved. I mean, that's the last time I can remember, just thinking of just how satisfied I was watching the card. Um, I can't say this was probably on that level, as far as, just the fights and everything, but this was just a special night for me because it just, as a big Anderson Silva fan, as you know I am, that was just that whole roller coaster of emotions and everything you saw was just that was just incredible right there. From like the disbelief and seeing him get rocked to like the whole what the fuck feeling of like Chael Sonnen just dominating him every round and all this stuff to like thinking what the hell am I gonna say on YouTube? It's some bullshit, man. To like all of a sudden him pulling that triangle out of nowhere, it's like wow. I mean, I think Karsten, when talking about the whole, when I think he was previewing the fight with Anderson Silva versus Talis Latis or whatever, he made a great comparison about Silva fights being like action movies or something, and how he tried to do drama with Patrick Cote, but that didn't quite work out. Then his leg went off. Um, and I think this is exactly the kind of fight that I don't think Silva was looking for, but this right here was some compelling drama right there. Usually, when you tune into fights, you pretty much have an idea what's going on, what's going to happen. But this is just a night where just what or this particular fight, on its own. This is just something where you were just where I was just completely, totally taken on for the ride or something. Because like when Silva dropped, I think when Sonnen dropped Silva in the fifth round, got on top of him. It's like I basically packed it in, mentally. And when just to go from that low to that high, just in like a couple minutes, I mean, that's just wow, unbelievable. I got to hand it to Chael Sonnen. He's a much better fighter than I gave him credit for, probably more than anybody gave him credit for, except himself. Um, he really showed himself that he really belonged in the ring with Silva. He wasn't afraid. He took the damage. I mean, he took everything, and he brought him to the brink. I mean, that has to suck because he was that close. He was winning that fight. He was getting that title, and I just like I said, I am in disbelief how he was able to dominate Silva so much, and I'm in disbelief that Silva was able to pull that out. But major props to Chael Sonnen. Fantastic performance. He is a fantastic fighter, and I look forward to seeing him fight again. Anderson Silva, it's like, how I feel about him. I think he's the greatest fighter in the world. And that fight with Chael Sonnen, and the way he was able to pull that out, that bolsters my opinion that he is the world's best fighter. Um, like I said, Chael said it best. It's like he's a champion and he found a way to win. And it's like my hats off to him. My hats off to both guys. They both really like Chael, like you talked about, like he got hit with some hard shots, but being the dog that he is, he just fought through it and just kept going, and just imposed his will on Silva until he just ran out of gas in that fifth round. And like I said, it's hard to think of a fight I'll ever see like that again. I mean, that's just some moments in sports, moments in MMA that are just unbelievable, and it's just something I'll probably remember for the rest of my life anyway. Moving on to the co-main event, you had let's think this was a title eliminator with Thiago Alves and Jon Fitch. Of course, you know these guys met before. At the, I think that was like one of Jon Fitch's most impressive wins right there. He beat him with the up kick and some punches to finish him off. Y'all know how I feel about Jon Fitch. I mean, I don't like him personally. I find his fights very boring. I wasn't very excited with this fight. However, giving credit where credit is due, I my problem with Fitch is not so much being boring, because as I said many times, boring fights happen. What I don't like is when a guy actively goes for the decision and does not try to finish fights. If you're not interested in finishing fights, like my boy Kenny, then I'm not interested in watching. I don't want anything to do with that crap that, sitting in people's guard and holding positions for 15 minutes is bullshit. I mean, I'm like, now I'm through with it. I ain't having it. But Jon Fitch, unlike his past few fights, he actually did try to finish Alves. He wasn't successful, wasn't too exciting, but hey, it's all I ask is that you try, and that's what he did. And in addition, what really impressed me with the fight was how well Jon Fitch did in the stand-up. In my opinion, he outstruck Alves. He had some good footwork. I mean, he used his reach, was able to beat Alves to the punch, stay away from his power, and just really, just keep Alves off balance as he went for takedowns. I mean, that's finally showing the improvement that he said he was made. Good job by Jon Fitch. It was a very much deserved victory, but I'm not sure what this is going to put him, because he's either going to get GSP again, which I think GSP is going to beat Koscheck, and there's just I don't just see any way for him to beat, you know, GSP. I mean, he barely survived the first one. But or he's gonna fight Josh Koscheck, and that's gonna be and that's his boy. You don't want to fight him. He keeps whining every time anyone brings it up, and I think I'll probably talk about the whole teammate thing later. We'll save that for whatever. But that puts him in a very precarious spot with the middleweight division. Now, also going on, another guy, just about everybody in here, they just really impressed me. Got my boy Junior Dos Santos. For some reason, I just keep wanting to call him Jermaine. I don't know. But anyway, my boy Sagano, he had a great performance against Roy Nelson. Roy, I mean, is a guy I don't like. I don't like him because I don't think he does everything he's supposed to do as a fighter, staying in shape and everything. I think he's a fat ass and it's just pathetic. But anyway, he showed a lot of heart and just a real good chin, taking the best from Junior Dos Santos. See, I almost did it again. But like I said, that was a real good fight. I was also what was the real story of that fight also was Sagano's takedown defense. Every time he shot at, I mean, he showed just, I mean, real good, a real good sprawl. He kept his hips away from Roy, wasn't able to, let Roy get any control, and just real keep the fight where he wanted to, and just really light Roy up with some good punching combinations and uppercuts. I don't know if that can take down Lesnar, but if I could take on Lesnar or Kane, but good job by Junior. Good job by everyone involved. Good, Matt Hughes with showed some great striking, knocking down, Ricardo Almeida and choking him out. I mean, this is just one of those once in a lifetime things you can experience as a fan, especially if if you're really big into the sport like me. That's just something, that whole thing was just a big emotional investment and something I'll remember for a long time. I'll holler back at y'all later.